Now Mel's got a light burnt out there. So Mel, let's hope that burnt out light doesn't reflect on what might happen. And hopefully Mel's going to make it. Well, we'll soon find out who's going to be the mayor of this great city of ours. This is Marlon Roy reporting to you live from the corner of Frontenac and Bathurst. That's Frontenac by Bathurst. So here we are, almost 24 hours later. It's November 11th, and we had the elections last night. Mom, what have you got to say?
Mazel tov Moishele, so sang gezind, and a sluche and a sach parnusse. I hope you know what I meant. I am so happy that you were elected. The whole street and the whole city and my whole family voted for you. And we are so happy for you. And we know that you will be a very good mayor.
Show them the star, the Toronto Star. Here's today's
star. I'm keeping this as a remembrance. You and Marilyn look beautiful.
Good. So what can you tell us about Mayor Mel Lastman, Mom?
I also want you to know that I voted for Milton, what's his last name?
Berger
and Mike Feldman. Mike Feldman I used to go with when I was 13 years old. Isn't he handsome? And I tell you, and even Moscow, and all four of you came in. A danken got the far.
What does that mean?
Thank God for this. Anyway, Mel, I worked at the polls, and I worked in a Goyish area, and the Goyim voted for her, you know who, and I saw your name didn't come in too much, so the people who couldn't talk was voices that came them. They said to me, help me vote. So I went in the back with them, and I says, see the sixth from the bottom? That's where you make a line. I know you're not supposed to do it, but for you, Moishele, I would do anything. Anyway, Moishe, I want you to know, how many years? There's a...
10 years ago.
10 years ago, I was at your place, the gorgeous place with the marble and the mirrors and the silver, you know where.
Actually, it's 7 years ago.
I mean 7 years ago, where the concerts are held, and I went every Sunday to see the concerts. I says, and you took a picture with me, and we had a rose. You were dancing with me, with a Mexican hat. And here my son is taking a picture, so maybe you'll remember. And by the way, I have to make a plug. My son is a technician for the Rogers Cable. If you need somebody to fix your television or do your cable or make pictures of you and put you all over the walls, call me. I'll arrange it.
And the picture says, above, Mayor Mel Lastman attempts the tango, complete with rose and teeth and tasty-looking sombrero with blood donor Lil Roy. And left, enjoying the tacos donated by Chi-Chi's, our volunteers. Celia Rabovsky, left to right, Yetta Wiskin, and Ida Schulman. You don't know any of these ladies, Mom? Okay.
Mel, he doesn't know.
Okay, anyhow. Well, there you go. So, your mother's famous, Jay. And here she is. And here's our man
of the hour.
Mel Lastman. The new mayor, the first mayor.
The first mega mayor.
Mega mayor of Toronto. And there you go. How can you beat that? So, Mom, what can you tell us about Mel?
Well, don't call him Mel. His name is Moishe.
What can you tell me about Moishe?
My auntie had a fruit store on Kensington. And next door to her fruit store was Mel's grandmother's fruit store. Her name was Mrs. Starkman. And Mel and his brother and his mother and father lived on the flat upstairs of their grandmother's fruit store. And when I went to visit my auntie on Kensington, he used to play with me. He had dark skin and dark hair. Then, all of a sudden, he opened up a store called the Bad Boy. And sometimes I bought there, but he was never there. He had salesmen. He was a gross yichus.
What's that mean? A big shot.
Yeah, big shit. Anyway,
Big shit.
he got Kanena horror, he got wealthy, and he didn't need the business anymore, and he gave it over to his son. Oh, did he make up a mitzvah for that son? Don't ask. It was like in the Royal York Hotel, with a crown and a special throne like you've never seen in your life. And the second son, the same thing. And he didn't know what to do with himself, so he became a mayor. And he became a good mayor, especially for our Jewish people. He did very good things for all of us. Now, the other thing is, they opened Holt Renfrew in Yorkdale. And he was called to cut the ribbon. And I happened to be there that day, so I was watching, and everybody that walked into the store shook his hand. I walked into the store, I said, "Congratulations, Moishe." He says, "Oh my God, I haven't heard that name in years." He says, "You know how long I know you?" I says, "That's why I'm calling you your real name." And that was Mel Assman for you.
So what can you tell me about his childhood?
I don't know too much about his childhood except that I played with him. But he grew up shorter than me. And he is shorter than me.
Right.
And he started losing his hair young. But he made curls a permanent.
Didn't you used to play with him as a kid?
Yeah. Oh, when I went to see my auntie, I didn't live on Kensington. When I went to see my auntie, I played with him. And so it goes. And now Kanena Hora, he worked himself up. He has a beautiful home.
Was he good? Was he a good student? Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because he was a businessman.
I'm talking about in public school.
I don't know. I didn't go to his school. He went to Ryerson. I went to King Edward.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't go to school together?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
No.
Okay.
But he had a cup. You know what a cup means?
Right.
For business. So it shows you sometimes you don't have to go to school and you can have a head for business, and that's what he had. And he built up our city. And imagine a Jew to do such wonderful things that built up our whole city of Toronto.
Imagine.
And I'm going to phone him yet. And I'm going to pinch him a muzzle tough. And I'm going to bring him back memories. And he'll remember, I know he'll remember, because he's got a Gittin cup.
Well, that's Lillian Roy interviewed on this first day of the Mega City. Congratulations to Mel and to Lil for this wonderful interview. Say goodbye.
Bye. Jay, I miss you. Come home.
Go ahead.
Okay. Mel, I forgot to put a plug in for my children. First, if you're ever in Victoria and you need a Saturn, go to my son, Jane Roy. I told you about my son, Marlon Roy, the technician for the cable. If you want to go on television, the whole world should see you, call him. He knows how to do it. And my daughter, if you want your head read, you need someone to give you advice, you want to go into group therapy, call my daughter, Elaine. And my youngest son is right near you at North York Chevrolet. And he will treat you fine because you'll tell him that you're my friend. And don't forget to phone me. My number is 781-3801. Thank you, Mel.
There you go. This isn't.
Oh, turn the camera this way.
Go ahead and just talk. I'll take care of the camera.
Okay, before I left off with the stockings, but I have a lot to tell you about the stockings. I'm just going to go through this album, and there's many things that I would like to show you that I will always remember. This is my brother Benny in the Air Force, Bashulam. What a good brother he was. He was the eldest. And now, this is my husband Lou when I first met him. All bones, but gorgeous, handsome.
Yeah, I'm going to move behind you here. It'll be a lot easier. There we go.
Right. This is my sister-in-law Mary when I first met her. and I'm beside her.
Mm-hmm. Who's that?
This is my niece Terry, my brother Harry Vashulam's daughter. This is Mr. Resnick Vashulam. He lives upstairs of Ruthie Friedman with his family, and he liked me very much, and I'm sitting on his lap. And this is my father, whom I loved so much. And this was taken in Wasaga Beach of Lou and I. And this is when I met Lou. This is how he looked, and this is how I looked. Have it?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need any more of me.
Okay.
Wait, just a minute, just a minute. That one's not clear.
Well, they're all clear.
This is a fella I used to go with. We were in Hyde Park sitting on a hill.
Well, I didn't catch that. Well, who's this fellow?
I don't remember his name. All the rest I
Yeah,
remember,
too
but
many
him I
men.
don't remember.
Too many guys, huh?
Too many guys in my life. This was taken in Wasaga Beach of my father Vashulam, my mother Vashulam, Mary, who lives in Israel, my sister-in-law, and my brother Benny Vashulam.
Mm-hmm.
Now the other picture that I'm sitting on Mr. Resnick's lap, this is his daughter Edith Vashulam and I. This was taken at Sunnyside Tank when Dorothy wasn't married to my brother Benny, but she was dying for him to take her out. This is Dorothy, and this is me. This is Harriet Porter. This is the Markham Street gang, the girls that I grew up with. And this is Seymour. Seymour is the son of Shirley and Percy Katzman Vashulam, and he has a brother, Jerry. They are both married now, and they have their own children. This is Marvin Listovsky. I invited him to be my date for one of my Sweet 16s. And this is him on a horse, the same Marvin.
On a horse?
On a horse. He would like horses.
Oh, but that's not him on a horse.
What is he on?
It doesn't look like a horse
I don't know.
to
I
me.
thought it was a horse. He likes horseback riding. Oh, here he is. Here he is on a horse, Marvin.
Mm-hmm.
This is a boy I corresponded with. He lived in the States. I forget his name. This is him again. This is me and Irving Drutz.
Irving Drutz?
Drutz, yeah.
Okay.
This is me when I was 5 years old and my mother cut off my curls and I was sitting on Newsbum's grass, and this picture was taken of me, and when I show it to anybody they think it's Jay.
Oh, yeah.
This is the same guy from the States. This is Howard Partnoy when he was a baby.
Oh, sure.
This is the son of Mary. Howard is the eldest. Howard was born on the day that we were married, and he has one sister and two brothers in Israel.
There you go, cousin. Now we see it all, huh? Go ahead. You're on.
This is my sister-in-law Hilda, who is married to my brother Moish Vashulam at her wedding, their wedding. And this is Sam when he married Thelma in England. This is Heather.
Heather?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is Heather as a little girl. And there's Harry.
Mm-hmm.
This is my brother Ben's eldest daughter Heather, who is now married and has 2 children.
Hang on, I'm losing focusing here. There we go.
Did you get this one?
No.
This is Chucky, Sammy's eldest boy, who's named after my father-in-law.
Okay. Got it.
You want this one of Harry?
Sure.
This is my brother Harry when he was slim. He was also a good brother. He's married to Mary, and they have Terry. Harry, Terry.
Okay.
No, this is nothing. Oh, this is a good one. Who am I here? Who am I? Oh, here I am with Daddy. This was taken. We went out to a nightclub.
Hang
We went out to a nightclub one evening. I don't remember this couple, but this is Lou and I. Alice Vishulam and Art. She made my drapes. On the tip of my tongue. All right, what's the difference? She made my drapes. She was a nice person. And we played mosh together. Now this is the picture that I want you all to see, because everybody, most of the boys I went with are in this picture, and everybody was paired off differently. So I want you to pay attention. This is Jerry, who has a dress factory, and he's married to Jerry. Their both name is Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry, my husband, was going with me and Jerry at the same time. Jerry was much prettier than me, but Lou picked me. Jerry opened a beautiful boutique dress shop. She lost her husband and she's alone now. This is Aki Weinberg. I don't know who he's with, but Aki married Pearl Nesker, who is over here. She's the one that lent me the gown to walk in, and she used to go with Lou before me. This is Fishbane, and this is, what's the tennis player? You know them, the red-headed boys.
Rako.
This is Fishbane with Ida Rako.
Oh,
And this
yeah.
is me, look at, this is me with Harvey Davis, the singer.
Uh-huh.
And this boy, I don't know, but her name is Diffie. And here's my sister-in-law Mary with the Zeldin boy.
Uh-huh.
And here's Ruby Fenwick,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't remember her name. And here's my husband Lou with, what's her name already, jeez.
No, you forgot that one pretty quick.
No, I wanted to forget her, but he just dated her that time. Look how handsome he is.
Mm-hmm.
And when my mother looked at this picture, and I said to her, take a look at the whole picture, tell me who's the best looking. She pointed to him, not knowing who he was. And this is Mel Shear, who I also used to go out with. I don't know who he's with. We used to neck a lot. And this, when Pearl Nesker stopped going with Lou, she started going with him, and I forget his name. I just saw him the other day. And he married someone else. And this is the boy that took me out to the AZA Sweethearts Ball. Marvin Mitchell, Vishulam. And this is Esther. And these two got married together, and he died. And she's alive. And this fella sees me in shul all the time. His name is Gil Pasco. And he married her, I forget her name, and she's Vishulam too. This one's not important. Oh, this one is good. My girlfriend Mary that lived in Detroit married off a daughter. And it was right after Benny passed away, about 30 days after. Or more than that. And she invited the whole gang. This is our gang. You know the picture, our gang, this is our gang.
Mm-hmm.
And she invited us to the wedding in Detroit, and we all came. This is Minnie Vishulam. Who's this? Edith. Mary Vishulam. Me. I had black hair with a gray streak. Ruchishi. And Ginger. And this is my niece, Sammy's daughter Elaine, and her husband Jack on their wedding day. Okay, now we'll go on with the next one. Dear brother Moish, at their wedding. They have a son, Ricky. And this is me as a bride.
Let's see. Let's see. Ah, you still look the same.
Yeah, exactly. And this is my dear cousin and best real friend, Minnie Goodman Ree Nisker, Vishulam, at her wedding. And my brother Moish got a new Buick, and she was so thrilled, he promised to take her in his new Buick to her wedding, and he did.
And there's cousin Sherry and
Sherry and her sister Terry.
Yeah.
And here's me, that's all this is. Here's me walking out of my house with my maid of honor, Minnie. Okay, now this is Percy and Shirley, but not. This is. His wedding. It was at the Murray House on McCall Street. And this is Lou and I. This was right after I had Marlon. This is my father, and this is my sister-in-law Hilda, who is twice the size. And this is my brother Murray Vishulam. This is my mother. Look how beautiful she looks. This is my eldest brother Benny Vishulam, and this is my brother Harry Vishulam. So I want you to know that now I am an orphan. And I have nobody now because Lou's gone too. So I only have my children. So thank God for them. I'm going to tell the story.
Okay, go ahead.
I went to Parachula, and this was taken when I was 8 years old.
What's a Parachula?
Parachula is a place where you learn to speak Jewish.
Okay.
We had the May Parade, and that's why we're all wearing these hats.
All right.
They're red and white hats. And I was in love with a certain fella, but he was twice my age. And he knew that I liked him. And he always put his arms around me, and here I am with his arms around me. But if you look at the picture by yourself, you won't know it's me. But look for the girl with the curls, because I always had curls.
Well, let's point it out, because I only got a few minutes left on this thing. Where's the girl with the curls?
Here's the girl with the curls.
Aha. Okay. All right.
He always used to carry me on his shoulders. His name was Sidney. I forget the last name, but his name was Sidney. And here's Hindi at her wedding. She was absolutely gorgeous.
She still is.
And she still is.
Okay.
I want to get that picture. Stop it for a minute. What's the city on the Mohawk? Okay. It is now Sunday, November the 30th. I am at my beautiful daughter Elaine's home having dinner.
Hi, Elaine. Where's the dinner?
And it was most delightful and delicious.
Hey, what year is this, by the way?
This is 1997.
Hey!
And excuse the way I look, but my daughter just got me ready for Miami, and she did my toenails. Aren't they pretty? And I have to wait for them to dry before I put on my pants. So excuse the way I look.
How come it feels like I'm watching a Barney video or something?
Just look at the top half. Don't look at the bottom.
All right.
Well, I will begin with when I was born.
When you were what, boyren?
Born. When I was born,
When you were boyren.
my mother made arrangements at Mount Sinai Hospital. But I came too fast, as I do everything too fast.
What do you think, Jamie?
And my mother yelled to my brothers, "Go call the grubber." And my brothers went across the street to call the grubber. Now, if you want to know who the grubber is, she's Marty Bernard's grandmother, and she was called the grubber because she was short and fat. And she delivered me.
Grubba means fat. That's really nice. They go call the fat.
And she...
They go call the fat.
She's dead already. And
She's dead already.
Good watching.
And she delivered me. Well, to my father was overjoyed because he said to my mother that this was the last child unless it's a girl. And finally, a princess was born, and he didn't know what to do for me. He was so happy. Anyway, as I was growing, my mother made me curls. I was the only girl on the street with long curls. Everybody had straight hair and buster bangs, and I didn't have that. I had
Buster
curls.
bangs?
Buster bangs. Bangs.
Okay.
And I had long curls, even one in the front. And I have a picture in the den showing me at 2 years old with the curls and one in the middle. Anyway, now I'll start when I was 5. At 5 years old, my mother cut all the hair off. And it was summertime, and I had a boyish bob. And I sat across the road on Newsbaum's grass, Villa Sholem, and they took a picture of me.
Explain Villa Sholem.
Villa Sholem means the person that it has been deceased. Anyway, both deceased, Mr. and Mrs. Newsbaum. And in that picture, if you look at it, you'd swear it was Jane, because whoever looks at that picture says it's Jane. Because the dress I'm wearing, it looks like a shirt, but it's really a dress that Booby made. And now I'll go on. On our street, there were 5 girls. There were 6 of us. We all grew up together, and we went to school together. We're all in the same grades together. 2 were left behind. They stayed in grade 2 for a few years, but I forgot. I have to tell you what happened in kindergarten. When I started kindergarten, my mother said to me, "Don't forget to say you're 5." I was born in April. So, and September was school, so everybody was saying, don't, especially my mother, don't forget to say you're 5. When the teacher asked you how old you are, say you're 5. When I got to school, everybody was sitting in a circle. Teacher was going around asking everybody how old they were, and everybody said 5. I wanted to be different, and I said 4, and I told the truth. They sent me home. They said, 4 years old, you can't come to school, you go home. When I got home, my mother almost killed me. She says, how old did you say you were? I said 4. She says, I told you to say 5. I says, I told the truth. Anyway, what happened then is, in kindergarten, there was and here is my gorgeous, gorgeous Jamie grandson, who is a fantastic hockey goalie.
I thought his name was Jamie Chadwick.
Jamie Chadwick.
How do you do, Jamie
one of the best
grandson?
goalies in Toronto.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
With a fine haircut.
With a fine haircut, a fine physique, and everything that a girl would want.
Like a good mother-in-law.
A good mother and a good father. And well, while I was in kindergarten, they had Parents' Day, and the parents came and sat around in a circle. And you had to go in the circle and dance around, and then you pick somebody from the class, and then they go in the circle. And this went on and on and on. I was in the circle. And I kept picking Lola Shaw, Dr. Shaw, who delivered me his daughter. And I always picked Lola because she was my best.
Wait a minute. Dr. Shaw delivered you?
Yes.
I thought the grubber did.
Dr. Shaw was I had to go to him afterwards to cut off the tubes and everything.
Ah, okay.
I came out, but everything was hanging.
Okay.
Anyway, Dr. Shaw delivered me. What are you talking about Dr. Shaw for? Anyway, Lola...
I didn't say it, you said it.
Lola was my
I'm just the
best friend.
cameraman.
So then when I picked on Lola to come in, she went around the circle and then she picked me. This was going on and on. Finally, my mother called me over and she said to me, "Why are you always picking that girl? Pick Sonny Lidbach." He lived next door to me. Because his mother was also sitting there and he was out of it. She said, "Pick Suni. She couldn't say Sonny, so she said Suni. So the next time I was in the circle again, I picked Suni. And Suni picked me. Then the next time I picked Lola. This was going on and on, but at least I picked Suni once, and I made my mother happy. Then I'm 5 years old, and all my friends, like I said, we all grew up together, and we're still friends, but we lost quite a few. From the few, there's only 3 left. From the 6, there's only 3 left. And now we're not close anymore. The reason we're not close is because I lost my husband, and they still have their spouses. And, you know, 2 is a company, 3 is a crowd. And so I'm left out with them. But I don't feel bad because I made new friends, and we're close, and we do things together, and I'm having a ball. And I'm busy all day. The nights are a little lonely, but I'll find someone for a night too. Now,
Well, let's see.
oh, anyway,
Let me just do your chocolate while you're talking.
anyway, well, the nice thing was I brought up 4 beautiful children. My daughter Elaine,
Let's see, Elaine.
The manicurist here.
who is
The pedicurist.
who is putting the top coat on my nails.
Yeah.
And she has a husband, Paul, and 2 beautiful sons, Corey and Jamie. Corey is now in university, studying for exams. And Jamie will be going soon, too. And my son Marlon, who is the handyman. He lives at home with me. And you give him anything to do and he's there. He fixes everything.
We don't want to hear about them. We want to hear about you.
Okay.
And I heard he videotapes too.
Okay.
He videotapes biographies. Go on.
He does the videos. He's doing it now. And then there's
Amazing.
Then there's Jay, who lives in Victoria.
Now talk about you. Forget your kids.
And I'm almost finished. Who I miss.
She's got one more kid to go.
I hope he were back. And Ian Kanahara.
Okay, you're done.
His wife Beth, and he has 4 beautiful children. Abram, and Matthew, and Benji, who is smart as a whip. And finally, after 45 years, we have a girl, and her name is Logan, after my husband, Lou. And my mother, Shelby. My mother's name was Sonia. So, that's Nafas. You want to hear of Nafas? This is Nafas. Now, what else do I want to say? Because I had a lot of time on my hands, I went back to university for 2 years to take 2 courses.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't fulfilling because I had to go to night school, and in the winters it was dark and snowy, and I didn't like to be alone. I'm doing charity work. I work at Baycrest and at the Wagner Center. I go to Aqua Fitness 3 times a week. I jog around Yorkdale at least twice a week.
You jog around Yorkdale?
Yeah.
Do you look for any specials?
No, I go in the morning when the stores are closed.
Okay.
Oh, and 2 wonderful things happened to me. I learned to play bridge. That is the most wonderful thing. You have to really use your head, and I'm crazy about bridge. And I went back to Maj too. So isn't that enough? How much more can I do?
It's pretty. You could do a lot more.
Like what?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know.
You could take another course and...
And when I'm away in Florida, I'm going to start taking courses, because after all, I'm going to be there a long time, and I hear that you can take courses there, and I will take them.
Oh, that's a good idea. Good thinking.
And what else can I say? I think I told you everything.
That's the whole story of your life.
Oh, I'll probably find more.
Well,
You
you
didn't ask me questions.
field some questions.
Elaine, did I leave anything out?
Let's hear some stories about your marriage.
Well, oh yes. When I had to marry my husband...
On ABC.
Well, you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed. Good luck, Jason. Now, one of the stars of TV's The Office hits the big time, getting interviewed by Red.
I'm here with Rainn Wilson, star of the new movie, The Rocker.
Hi.
So, Rainn, what kind of nerdy adventures do you have in this?